everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Here's how this works. You guys send me your questions, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. I will give you an answer and keep you anonymous, okay, because that's very important in this industry. Although some of you guys don't care, but just let me know that if you want me to mention your name, okay? So send me the questions, I give you the answer. I'm on every social network you can think of. Just about, okay? So today's question. Hey Dan, as an aspiring clinical researcher, what should be a 30, 60, 90-day plan for a new hire into clinical research? In other words, what would you require of or is expected of a new hire in the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days of employment? I want to arm myself with such info, and being new in this field, I don't want to misdrive at any interview. Alright, so first you got to specify what it is that you want to do in research. If you're a research coordinator, if you're a CRA, if you're a recruiter, which is someone that I recently just hired at one of my sites, they're all different tasks, and they're all different 30, 60, 90-day metrics that you can establish for these new hires. Okay, so I'm just going to go one at a time. For a study coordinator, you want to make sure one of the biggest things is your yearly GCP training. So if you've never been a study coordinator, if you want to really impress the people who are going to be interviewing you, you can go online and you can get the NIH Protecting Human Research Subjects training. That's for free. You can get that done in 20 minutes. You can print out a nice certificate with a date of when you got trained on that. This is especially good if you have no experience as a study coordinator. Also, you can Google and find tons of free GCP trainings out there. So what you're doing is when you're going to the interview, you're already telling the people interviewing you that, hey, I've already done this stuff, so on day one, I don't need to waste my time doing this. I can start doing something else, like immediately learning the protocol, or starting to get access to EDC, those kind of things. IATA, which is shipping hazardous goods, if your role is going to be, as a study coordinator, is going to involve labs and shipping labs, then you need IATA too, although this training is not free, so I recommend you wait until you get hired to get this, but let the employer at the interview know that you understand that there's IATA training requirement. That will really impress them. So that's what I would do. Now in your first 30 days as a coordinator, definitely learning the protocol that you're on. They should probably put you on as a study assistant or research assistant for your first trial and maybe your first 2 trials. The easiest thing to do at that point is to get the EDC system, so the electronic data capture system, set up for you so you can start entering data, you can start answering queries, you can start working with the PIs. That's the 30-day plan for you. The 60-day plan is maybe actually doing an entire study visit on your own as the study coordinator, although that could also be in the 30-day plan, but then adding more tasks to what you're doing. And the 90-day plan is the same. At this point, you would have had a few monitoring visits, so maybe you become the main contact for the CRA to go to instead of the other coordinator or instead of the PI. There's a reason why they hired you. They want you to take on certain responsibilities. So that's the 30, 60, 90-day plan for me when I hire someone as a study coordinator. Now, as a CRA, there's a lot of metrics they have there. Obviously, someone cannot really be a CRA if they have no research experience at all. So they're already going to have the GCP, NIH, all that kind of background. Their 30, 60, 90-day metrics are going to be more company specific and more internal to their CROs. Maybe they're going to help out with a site selection visit or a site initiation visit or a site closeout visit or back up some monitors when they're not able to make site visits, their regular scheduled site visits due to an illness or vacation, whatever it may be. Those are the metrics there. As a patient recruiter, it's almost easier actually to establish these metrics because there's something concrete that you can actually point your finger at and say, okay, you were able to meet these metrics, and this is actually what I'm in the process of doing right now with a recruiter who's going to be doing not just recruiting for one of my sites, but a lot of other administrative tasks as well. So when it comes to the patient recruitment, 30-day plan would be meeting a certain number of residential facilities or getting a certain number of study participant leads that you've already contacted and perhaps scheduled for screening. Then you need to track of those leads, the quality of the leads, how many came in for a screening, how many actually showed up, how many screen failed, how many randomized. These metrics are, you can start counting these and tracking these immediately. 60-day plan for a recruiter is the same, but probably adding more studies. Like instead of just recruiting for a few studies, you're giving them a few more. 90-day plan, same thing. Eventually you want this recruiter to be able to recruit patients as needed, whenever needed, for all your studies in the site. So that is my recommendation there. And I didn't even mention any of the regulatory stuff for a coordinator, like how to prepare regulatory forms or regulatory documents. That's also an easier thing for a study coordinator to understand in their first 30, 60, and 90 days. Submitting IRB initial site review to the IRB, creating a 1572, making sure the financial disclosure forms are signed, those kind of things. Alright, so hopefully this helps. Good question. Let me know. If it does not, I'll answer it again. This is Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.